Ask someone unfamiliar with PBIS what it's all about, and you'll probably hear something about the use of positive reinforcement, followed by examples of a variety of points, awards, tickets, and prizes that students earn in PBIS schools. Whenever I say positive behavior support, they think, oh, we've got to start handing out candy and goodies. No, you don't. That was never a part of PBIS. That could be something you choose to do, but that is not an inherent piece. All that was ever inherent in this in the very beginning was, can you up the level of verbal feedback that kids get? Yes, thank you, good, right. While it's true that PBIS involves positive acknowledgement of student success, there is no requirement that schools provide any tangible points or prizes. The real key is that adults focus on increasing the amount of positive feedback that students receive. If students aren't able to earn such positive feedback, then instruction is not successful and must change. Of course, simplest feedback is just basic private acknowledgement. Anytime we use words to indicate to a student that he or she has been successful, we are using verbal praise. And if we use a gesture such as a thumbs up or a smile, it can have the same effect. The key is that the student knows what the words or gestures indicate. There's nothing novel about verbal praise, but we have decades of data showing that adults use it with students at rates that are extremely low. Thanks, that's great, correct, and even yes are all examples. But to increase the effectiveness, it is recommended that feedback also be as specific as possible, ensuring that the student knows exactly what behavior warranted the praise. So instead of good, we might say, you got every single thing put away on time, good for you. But sometimes students need more than just verbal praise. Students with a history of failure or who have little confidence may require increased levels of reinforcement. In addition, students with high rates of success sometimes deserve an additional acknowledgement. For these students, public acknowledgement may be an effective second layer of positive feedback. As part of PBIS, schools often develop a range of public acknowledgements, including certificates, the posting of pictures on the wall, signing a wall of fame, and even announcing exemplary behavior over the morning announcements. While not every student would like being called out publicly, most everyone likes some form of larger acknowledgement, even if it's simply a note home. Again, while there is nothing inherent in PBIS that requires the use of tokens or tickets, many PBIS schools do so. Sometimes the use of tokens or tickets is the most effective way of getting adults to remember to provide that feedback. While I may forget to say thanks to students for walking in the hall, keeping a fistful of tokens may act as a good reminder. But make no mistake, for the average student, simply increasing the amount of verbal feedback they receive for success will be just as effective as more tangible awards. It's just not something that we adults do very well in schools. If schools do use a ticket or token system, here are some recommendations for keeping it as successful and simple as possible. First, target your token acknowledgement to specific student behaviors. Use your school data to identify times and locations where misbehavior is particularly predictive and reteach the expectations. Then, let students know that tokens will be available for examples of these behaviors. This specificity allows for the systems to have larger impact where needed most. Second, keep it simple. Rewards associated with tickets or tokens should be curricular-based. Things like computer lab time, free reading time, a homework pass, or the ability to bring coffee into the cafeteria. These generally do not require extra adult effort or expenditure. Third, using a lottery system allows adults to give out unlimited tickets or tokens while still providing only the number of rewards that are practical and available. In the lottery system, every ticket simply increases a student's chance of winning. Finally, tickets and tokens offer great opportunities for building school-wide climate and culture. Creating competitions among grade levels or school-wide goal for positives can be a great motivator and encourage teamwork. Prominent displays of performance can also help to build a positive culture and keep students focused on positive behavior. Of course, all of this so far has focused on the positive, what we do when students are successful. But consequences are also required when students are not successful, and that has to be another part of what we talk about as a PBIS school. In general, there are three major things to keep in mind when considering consequences for misbehavior. First, correction should be a part of all responses to misbehavior. Even if the behavior is serious enough to require the most intensive consequences, correction and reteaching are necessary as part of the response. Correction always involves discussing the more appropriate behavior with the student and asking for some indication of understanding. When appropriate, this may also involve reteaching and opportunities to practice. Note that this does not mean there cannot be a more intensive consequence. Second, we have absolutely zero evidence that removing a student from the classroom or school is effective in changing behavior. Of course, there are behaviors that create safety issues that require student removal. But as a simple punishment for the student, removals are actually a better predictor of future removal than they are of behavior change. Third, because removal from the classroom and school is such a common response to misbehavior, schools must work to consider effective consequence strategies in addition to prevention. PBIS schools gather their faculty and staff to discuss the most common student misbehaviors and brainstorm effective responses. Seasoned teachers who have experience dealing with common misbehaviors often have a bag of tricks or strategies that have worked over the years. Sharing these ideas with all helps to build a school-wide set of effective strategies, which is especially helpful for novice teachers who may not have ever considered their responses to such behaviors. Take some time with your faculty and staff to really discuss the logic for positive consequences. Make sure everyone understands that positive acknowledgement is the most effective tool we have. Also, discuss how you can think more about providing effective correction for misbehavior and develop consequences that are functional for students and do not result in missed instructional time.